Kai hovered over Seoul, the city lights a distant shimmering tapestry beneath him. His immortal weapon pulsed with a low, dangerous hum, a perfect extension of his will. Suddenly, the system's voice, cold and synthetic, echoed in his mind. Hidden manipulator detected. Extreme threat level plus SSSS. The air itself grew heavy, charged with an unspeakable dread. Before him, the sky didn't just darken, it tore open. A raw, gaping wound in reality revealed a figure that defied all logic. It was a titan, a monstrosity cloaked in swirling temporal energy. Its form shifted. Part machine, part alien, part something utterly unknown and horrifying. Its eyes, twin voids of infinite violet light, burned with an intensity that warped the very fabric of space, searing holes through reality itself. A voice, ancient and terrible, thundered across the city, shaking buildings to their foundations and cracking the heavens above. "Kai, you were never meant to reach this stage." The sound was a physical force, a hammer blow against his senses. Kai's heart hammered against his ribs, but it wasn't fear. It was the drumbeat of war. Memories, sharp and brutal, flashed through his mind. The echoes of past battles, the monstrous hybrids he'd slain, the temporal convergences he'd survived, and the sting of betrayal that had forged him. All of it coalesced into a single white-hot emotion: rage. He clenched his fists and the immortal weapon vibrated, singing a hymn of divine fury. He met the Titan's gaze, his own eyes blazing with defiance. "I've surpassed every obstacle you and your pathetic system have thrown at me. I am the immortal weapon, and I will never kneel. Lightning, fire, and shattered timelines erupted in a cataclysmic explosion of power as the ultimate battle began. The manipulator didn't move in a way that could be tracked. It simply acted. With a gesture, it unleashed a cataclysmic wave of pure chaotic energy. Time twisted, gravity bent back on itself, and matter simply ceased to exist wherever the pulse passed. Skyscrapers warped like wax, their steel and glass groaning under the impossible strain. The System S alert screamed in his mind, new skill, ready, dimensional eradication, ultimate mode. A surge of unprecedented power flooded Kai's being. His immortal weapon flared, glowing like a dying star, its energy resonating with the cosmic chaos unleashed against him. The manipulator's strikes were impossible, phasing through dimensions to hit him from angles that shouldn't exist. But Kai was impossible too. He phased through them, his movements a blur of instinct and power, his blade cutting not just through the air, but through the concept of impossibility itself. Every blow he landed pierced the fabric of reality, yet the manipulator adapted instantly, rewriting space-time to nullify his attacks. The sky above Seoul became a canvas of exploding sparks and temporal flickers. The city below flickered between centuries, gleaming futuristic towers dissolving into ancient ruins and then rebuilding in the blink of an eye. The chaos was absolute. Breaking through the roar of collapsing time, Kai's voice thundered, a declaration of his own existence. "I am Kai. I am the immortal weapon. No force, human, alien, or God, can stop me." He activated his ultimate technique, Temporal Fusion Omni Strike. His very being split, his attacks lashing out across 1,000 dimensions simultaneously, severing the manipulator's defenses from every conceivable angle and timeline. For the first time, the towering foe staggered, its form flickering violently, revealing a glimpse of the twisted, horrifying core within. Just as Kai pressed his advantage, the manipulator fractured. It shattered into countless temporal shards, each a perfect, lethal copy, all moving independently. They attacked from an infinity of angles, from every moment in time at once. The System S alarm was a shriek of pure panic. Enemy level, infinite, plus SSSS threat, extreme caution advised. But caution was a luxury Kai had long since abandoned. His immortal weapon didn't just glow, it blazed, brighter than 1,000 suns, a beacon of defiance in a sky torn apart. He activated a power he'd never dared to use before. Absolute temporal domination. The world slowed to a crawl around him. He saw every strike before it was launched, predicted every feint before it was conceived. Time itself was his to command. Sparks and blood rained from the sky as he moved through the storm of shards. His blade a blur of silver light, dismantling the fragments one by one across every dimension. Below, the citizens of Seoul collapsed, some in terror, others in sheer awe as the heavens split open above them. And then, from the deepest shadows, a second figure emerged. It appeared beside the reeling manipulator, a cloaked entity that radiated an aura of cold, calculating power. It leaned in, whispering words that were not sound, but a direct, piercing violation of Kai's very soul. "Your power grows too fast, Kai. Soon even I may not be able to control you." The words were meant to sow doubt, but they only fertilized his rage. His fury flared like a supernova. His blade sang with an incandescent wrath, its song of destruction resonating across infinite echoes of himself. He was not a tool. He was not a weapon to be controlled. "I am the god of my own destiny, and every enemy falls before me." With each word, a shard disintegrated. Kai's strikes were no longer just attacks. They were decrees of annihilation. Reality itself quaked under the sheer fury of his blows. The fractured manipulator screamed, a sound that distorted across eras, a chorus of agony from 1,000 different points in time, threatening to collapse the entire timeline into a singularity of pain. Catastrophic waves of sparks, fire, and raw energy detonated across the sky. The system pulsed, no longer warning, but announcing an evolution. New skill unlocked. Immortal Weapon. Infinite Resonance Mode. A profound change rippled through him. Now his every strike didn't just land, it echoed, endlessly. Each cut resonated across all realities, a tsunami of power that crashed against his foe again and again, an unstoppable storm of destruction. The cloaked figure watched, its posture unreadable, but its voice was sharp as diamond-edged steel when it spoke again. "You are becoming dangerous." Kai didn't answer with words. Rage, pure and undiluted, burned through his veins. He channeled it, focused it, became it. With a final explosive leap, he soared skyward, his weapon radiating a brilliance so intense it was godlike. He brought it down, carving not at the shards, but at the very concept of the manipulator, striking at its core which existed outside of time. Time itself convulsed. The remaining shards disintegrated into nothingness. Timelines bent and warped under the sheer weight of his might, and his voice, no longer a shout but a cosmic decree, roared across existence. "I am Kai! I am eternal! I am the immortal weapon!" The manipulator's core didn't just break, it detonated. The explosion was silent but absolute, shattering into infinite motes of light that scattered across countless realities, erased from this one forever. Kai stood atop the skeletal remains of a collapsing skyscraper, his immortal weapon still blazing like a star of righteous judgment. The chaos began to recede. The system's voice, now calm, pulsed in his mind. Hidden manipulator defeated. Timeline stabilization initiated. The fractured skies rippled, the raw wounds in reality stitching themselves closed as splintered timelines merged back into one, and then, from the void left behind, the cloaked figure descended. It moved with an unnatural grace, its feet not touching the ground as it came to a halt before him. It raised its hands and slowly pulled back its hood. The face it revealed was a nightmare of cosmic engineering. Half alien, half machine, its flesh and chrome pulsing with raw, untamed temporal energy. Its gaze burned into Kai, holding not malice, but something far more chilling: appraisal. "You have surpassed all expectations," it stated, its voice a low hum of power. But this was only the prologue. A new fire ignited within Kai. It wasn't just rage. It was bloodlust, determination, and the unshakable certainty of his own power, all surging like a wildfire in his soul. He raised the immortal weapon, its light mirroring the inferno in his eyes. "Then bring everything," he snarled, his voice a low promise of violence. "I am Kai. I am the immortal weapon, and not even time itself will defy me." Reality trembled around them, bracing for the impact. The battle was over. The war for all of existence had only just begun.